that I've got.
Fair enough. So on the Sky game Friday 7:45, it's Leeds against St Helens.
I'm backing Saints to bounce back. They're just good, aren't they? And Leeds are scratchy. So I know Leeds put on a big score against Castleford, but it really does feel like Cass couldn't give a shit about that match. It was all about the week after. And I just think I didn't watch that game in full, did I? So I don't know how much Leeds' attacks fixed versus how much it wasn't a stiff opposition. And Leeds' attack needs to really be fixed to be able to put up more than 20 points on Saints, which I think is what they probably would need to do to win the game with all the strike that Saints have got. So I'm going to go Saints, and I'm going to go Saints by 10.
I think, St Helens, I think even if they want to freshen things up, they've got plenty of options that they can rotate a little bit around and still have a fairly quality side. I think, Saints by 14 points.
Yeah, the final 7:45 p.m. kickoff on Friday night, because we're back to all the games being on at the same time. It's Warrington versus Wakefield, and results would say an in-form Wakefield. But do you think that they're in form enough to beat Warrington?
This is probably the toughest one of the week for me. I'm not sure which way I'm gonna fall on this one. I think for now I'm gonna say Warrington by virtue of being at home, and I think that being at home might have a little bit more of an effect at the moment. But I mean, who knows? Yeah, I think it's going to be close. But I can see Wakefield running away with it by best part of 20 points. So I think Warrington, but I'm not entirely confident. What about you?
I don't know what's led to the display at the weekend at Warrington and what the fallout will be from that. But I just think before that they were so good. I mean, Widdop was the best player in the competition. Toby King was the best sort of attacking threat in the competition. Ben Curry was back to his best. Darryl Clark was playing exceptionally well. Curry and Hill were Hill and why is his name going out of my head? The other forward were playing as well as they've been. Hill was playing the best he's played for years, and so I just think I can't throw all of that out of my mind for just one dismal performance. I think it's going to be wire by 16 or so. If Wakefield lack cutting edge in this game, Warrington will punish them for it.
Yeah, fair enough. And the final game, Saturday, 3:00, Leigh against Catalan. Or should I say Catalan by how much?
Yeah, I mean, it's one that you think could be a banana skin for Catalans in a way. It's easy to imagine them under-preparing for this game, not thinking they can go into it and win it. It's an easy game for them to be complacent going into, especially after the last game that they played when they were so good, and the last 3 games that they've played, in fact, where they've been putting themselves in a position to be arguably the best team in the competition. So I think there's a chance of complacency, but Leigh aren't good enough to see that through into a victory. So it's going to be Catalans, and like you say, it's about how much, but I'm not saying that in a how much as in it could be 40, 50, 60. I mean, I don't know how much they're going to win by. I just know that they're going to be better than Leigh.
Yeah. Very well. It's if Leigh win, I'd be very surprised. It takes a lot, even for Catalan. Yeah, it would take a lot of things to happen for them to be within 15 points.
Yep. Women's Super League game of the week: Castleford versus Leeds, Sunday at 3:30 p.m. Hopefully this will be the game picked for Twitch. We don't normally know by the time we start recording, unfortunately, but it should be a real entertaining game between a side that are refinding their feet against a side that need to start showing that they're as good as St Helens.
Yeah, I think Leeds should do this one, but they've been a bit up and down. There's been lots of sort of chopping and changing. I think they need to get some stability, but I think because the bulk of that squad has been together a little bit longer, I think they should have enough to beat Cass, and they've got some very quick outside backs that can capitalise.
I think that's the thing. They're kind of almost playing four wingers in the three quarters at the moment, Leeds. So they've got, and then Beavers out the back of that. They've got plenty of speed. I think they'll probably just have enough to beat Cass because they'll be able to score those long range tries that Cass won't be able to score. Championship game of the week: Featherstone versus Bradford, Sunday at 3 p.m. This is second versus third. So yeah, how will Bradford cope on a full width pitch? I guess we'll find out at Sunday at 3 p.m.
How long will Fev's celebrations have lasted from making it to Wembley?
Yeah, that's an interesting shout because they didn't know how to not get together in a pub before they were allowed to. So, so yeah. Bradford are reeling though from Danny Bruff's injury, and they're going to have to be dipping into the loan market, aren't they, to try and find a replacement there. You feel so that should mean Featherstone have enough this time around, I think, to win that game. League One game of the week: Barrow versus Rochdale, Saturday at 3 o'clock. There wasn't a great choice from the slate of games this week, I don't think. I do expect Barrow to win this one quite comfortably, but Rochdale are a bit, there's potential there, isn't there?
There is. They've got a few injuries in the camp. They've potentially a ban by this point as well. So I think it's gonna be Barrow by a fairly decent wedge.
Yep. Origin game 1 of the 2021 series, the Queensland Maroons versus the New South Wales Blues, is on Wednesday at 11:10 a.m. This is my reminder that after we finish recording, I need to go and set up the recording on this because I'll be away when this happens. But yep. How do you see this one going?
I think Maroons seem to have entered this. Reports coming out, they've entered this sort of siege mentality, and they're trying to galvanise themselves that way. The New South Wales have gone the opposite way and been very relaxed. They've been having open training sessions. I think there's just a little bit more. I think last year it was a kind of a bit of a, not quite a freak result at the end, but I think it was New South Wales switching off more than anything. I think they've probably generally got more informed players at the moment. So I'm going to say the Blues for this one.
Oh yeah, the team they're able to pick feels like the Blues should win and win comfortably. But
they are still New South Wales.
And this is what we thought should have happened in the series at the end of last season, and it didn't happen because the Queensland side found something within them. So yeah, I suppose everything in my head is saying the Blues will win, but something in my bones is saying Queensland will scrag it. So I'm gonna go with my bones. Actually, whilst we're talking about Origin, shall we talk about someone who played in the Origin arena for 15 occasions and obviously had a great career? The Sydney Roosters winger Brett Morris, who's announced his retirement with immediate effect.
Yeah, it's sad that he didn't get to go out in something like a grand final, which could have been plausible, or in his choosing. But great player, and someone who certainly I'll remember quite fondly.
Yeah, certainly, lots of great moments in his career. Loads, 181 tries he scored, and obviously won a few titles along the way with with was he when he was at St George would have been that good side of theirs, wouldn't he? And obviously with the Roosters in recent times, with his always kind of following his twin brother around or the other way around. I don't know which way it quite goes with those two, but they always end up together. Do you think it means that we might see the end of both Morrises soon?
Well, I mean, yeah. How old is he now? He's
mid-30s, 34,
yeah.
35, yeah.
Both picked up some fairly decent injuries, so I'd be surprised to see him go round again after this year.
Yeah, but great career for Brett Morris, so worth a mention whilst we're talking about the game down under, and we'll finish that chat off with the NRL Brit picks for you to look out for this week. Rabbitohs versus Knights Saturday 8:30am, Raiders versus Broncos Saturday 10:30am, and actually if we're mentioning the Raiders, it looks like George Williams has agreed his release. So now we should wait and see who he signs for. And then the Bulldogs versus the Dragons Monday at 7am. Monday night footy is back down under, so Monday morning footy is back up here. Make sure you get your fan views in on any and all of that action. Look for the links to the Google Forms after those games, and you know what to do from there. But that's pretty much it. I think for this week's show, we're gonna do our sort of meandering quiz and other chat in the wrap up. But other than that, let's wrap things up, Tim. Okie dokes, Tim. I've got a 3-question quiz for you. I'm not going to tell you what the theme is, but let's see if you guess the theme at the end. And the first question is, which League One club recently gave away 17,000 free season tickets to local youngsters despite their stadium only having a registered capacity of 3,000?
Was it Whitehaven?
No, it was the Barrow Raiders.
Oh, it was Barrow Raiders. Oh.
Yeah. I mean, great story that they're trying to reach out and get new audiences in, and obviously they understand and expect that most of those people won't necessarily be interested, but at least it gets the kids talking about Rugby League and about the Barrow Raiders, so well done to their efforts to try and get more people down. But yeah, it was the Barrow Raiders. Question 2. Which famous Cardiff-born player was the captain coach of the Workington Town side that lifted the Challenge Cup at Wembley in 1952, beating Featherstone 18 points to 10 in the first cup final to be televised?
Beverisman?
Gus Risman.
Oh.
I'll give you that. You were in the right family. It was father rather than son, but yep. And then finally, in what year was the Whitehaven club founded? And I'll allow 5 years either way.
Because one of them was just after the war, but I can never remember the right way round. I'm going to say 1923.
No, it was 1948. They were both. Well, Workington was right after the war, like they started playing in 45, and Whitehaven was a few years later, I guess, when they realised there was the scope for the rivalry that could fuel both clubs for generations to come. But yes, so the theme there was Cumbria.
There we go. Is that because that's where you're off to?
Yeah, that is correct. Yeah, we're going camping in the Lake District for a couple of nights. So probably go to Grasmere, get the gingerbread, all that sort of touristy stuff, and then gonna do a big walk up Fairfield, and then come home the day after that, and hopefully find some tickets.
You taking the canoe?
No, we're not taking the canoe, because we're not. Basically, I've not no real reason to not take the canoe, but we've just chosen not to this time around. We haven't had the canoe out this year yet, actually, but there's a major civil engineering work going on to put in a motorway link road in sort of not far from my house, and the new bridge, one of the new bridges they've got to build goes over the canal. So actually, might take the canoe out and go under the new bridge, because that's the kind of boring stuff that